Welcome back. Hope you guys are doing good. If you aren't familiar with where you are, not a problem. You have managed to stumble on Black expat life abroad. And what we do is do our best at trying to inform the community that is looking to move abroad what that actually looks like. These conversations are designed to help everyone position themselves in a way that their life move abroad is actually something that not only is something that they actually accomplish, but more so something that is a lot easier broken down than what most people take it on as. So we want to give a lot of opportunity for one people to ask questions. This is live, so please feel free to jump into the comments, ask your questions as well as making certain that if you aren't the person that is looking to move abroad, that you share this with somebody that needs to see this or needs to hear this because we are going to get into some specific things tonight, as always, but always want to at least set the tone for what it is that we're going to talk about and why it is that we're here. Tonight's conversation is going to touch base on realistically why you're looking to move abroad. I think those things are important, not only for what you may be looking to leave, but what is on the other side. A lot of people are at the position right now where they may start to realize that what America has sold you may be better seen elsewhere, depending on what your sell of the American dream is, or just how you frame what you thought life was going to be like. So many people are now challenging what they assumed life was going to be like and saying, is there better elsewhere? And what does that look like? Think that has easily come more that people are on the internet, not only on the internet, seeing local people that are living other places, uh, eating certain things, doing certain things, telling you guys about what their life is like there. But even more so, we're now seeing people go abroad and go to live. And that has changed so much because even before the internet, Americans as well as people were moving abroad. They were going somewhere and looking to leave what America or wherever they were had for them. And now, well, I was so sick with that because you think about when that was happening. A lot of times it was older people. Well, you're 65 plus and you're retired, or the extremely wealthy is traveling and traversing the world and seeing the opportunities, learning different languages and food because they have the money. Or, like I said, retired. They were old enough to have stored up the money and now have the ability where they can utilize that money. Third, other people that were traveling the world, and depends on if you got into it and did it all the way or you never had it on your radar, but this was military people. A lot of the reasons why people were even looking into going into the military was because you could travel the world on the government's dime, depending on what your recruiter possibly told you. These were usually the ways that we knew how to go about traveling the world. Yet now, with the internet, and now the internet is at your fingertips, you can go on, get updates on a watch, you get updates on a tablet, you get updates on your phone, different news outlets. People are getting more information a lot quicker. That is global information, as well as people are now seeing into other localized neighborhoods, other countries, and what they offer. But the unique thing that is happening is a lot more people that are no longer in the retired space or no longer in the extremely wealthy space or haven't signed an oath to the United States and says, well, I'm going to go on travel the world because the military allows me to do so. No, we've got all of those still, But what is this new class of people that are looking to move abroad are essentially people just like you, people that are possibly still in the workforce, may have families, these kind of things. I mean, like children, wives, husbands. These things are starting to look different. And the unique thing is, people in the United States have more of a burning desire to see what these things are, ask if they're real. More and more people are taking the leap. You're starting to see more and more families living abroad. Things that might have been the reason why you said, well, I could never live abroad because I have children. Well, there are so many examples of these people. Never mind children, people that may be single and are going abroad and finding community and friends. People may be with their partner and looking both of them to leave because America no longer suits them. Depends on which one of those you fall into. No matter where you go on the internet, there is probably representation for you. However, that representation did not exist at one point. So I get that it could possibly be overwhelming because you're now faced with trying to sift through, is somebody giving you honest truth? Is what they're saying as hyped up as it is to be? I saw a video today and it really set the tone and the mood for what this move abroad process is. And really realistically think about it, guys. It's like it's not easy. So many people are positioning it as easy, and if you're new here, you may think that, oh, move abroad, it's just packing your bags. Well, if you're not new here, you also know that I tell you how difficult a process it is. It's a doable process, but the actual going through an examination of what you're willing to leave behind, no matter what examples you're now seeing scroll past your timeline, these things are isolated down to you, not the global experience, not the entire TikTok and YouTube and Instagram or Facebook. It's not the entire experience. It's isolated down to you. So when we get into the conversation about why so many Americans are looking to move abroad, why are you looking to move abroad? Do you know? Was it because it's something that's popular? Was it because it's something that's trending? Was it a knee jerk reaction to the second coming of the orange president? What was it? These things need to be examined before you go to look to get out of the United States, because without examining these things, it's going to be hard to determine where it is you land and what it is you want from where it is that you're going. Finding out even if it exists. These things are extremely nuanced. So hopefully tonight I'll ask you a couple of questions. If you type in and engage, great. That allows me to answer your specific questions about what this life actually takes to get out of the United States and what it is like living, so you guys can understand that it's different. It's different in great ways. It's different in some challenging ways that you have to adapt to. But it's all about where you start, where you're looking to go. But before you look to go and actually leave, what you're willing to do. It is not an easy process to examine where you are as an adult. Take time out of your already busy schedule to say, what is it do I want? What do I need? What am I no longer looking to have comfortable in my life? Think about this. We have seen an entire week go past. Think it was a week. Think it was a week. And maybe it was less time. It just seems like so much news and information. But realistically, I tell everybody in America, I'm like, things are getting weirder and weirder by the day. I don't know what is going to be your reason for going. I tell people it's not, I wouldn't say it shouldn't be any one reason. It shouldn't be the second coming of the orange president. It shouldn't be anything that is fear based. Shout out to Tisha. She's always talking about, fear, people having this fear, and your fear of why you're looking to run could also be your fear of why you're looking to stay because the unknown. But there are so many things that are going on that it should be a culmination of things, as well as what am I looking for in a better quality of life? That is really important to understand how you navigate the double-sided coin of positive and negative, the yin and the yang. Because when I left, it wasn't because the second coming of which I actually thought that was done. I'm surprised that y'all allowed that to happen again. I'm not saying y'all, because me, you, all of us, you all, but that wasn't why I left. It was a culmination of so many different things that had compounded over the time. And with that, it was an opportunity to understand that this isn't just one thing. This isn't just one act. I, some people had jobs last week that don't have jobs, and never mind even unemployment. Just because somebody said something these days, people are losing their jobs, running on the internet, telling somebody's employer what they said, and it is supposed to be labeled as inflammatory. No, don't get me wrong, because you cannot go anybody's country and just say what you want. America is definitely the land of the free speech, but you might not even be. I always wonder about these people on the internet. The people that go to argue with people all of the time on the internet, what kind of people they are when they're not on the internet. And I say that is because, you know, maybe you're like that kind of person because you're in America. But I would say one, you probably shouldn't be that kind of person if you go outside. But more so, maybe your spirit will be like reset a little bit so you're not in a scenario where you feel like you have to be that person, the thumb thug, the warrior. Don't get me wrong, because there's plenty of people of all countries that will gladly tell you in a little bit of English that they have or translated right for you because you're on social media to go home or whatever the case is. It comes in all flavors and everything else. I'm not saying that, but I'm specifically speaking to Americans and the opportunity where it's like maybe you are one of those people that like to get on Facebook and argue with people. Go for it. I don't have the time to be stuck to my phone all day arguing with people that also have no time in their life. But you have to realize, like, you are going to be in a scenario like you got to leave some stuff. You shouldn't be who you are when you go to move abroad. That's why it's difficult. That's why the people that the young lady said in the video that, oh, well, I didn't prepare realistically to go abroad. So when I got there, I ended up moving back home. And that's a whole nother topic of this week because I don't want y'all to have to go back home. But it's examining and understanding where you guys are that is going to put you in a position to one, leave with purpose and intention, but two, to leave and stay going if that's what's on your radar. You guys are in a scenario right now where it's like life is for living. Yet the scenario that you are in is like life is that emotion of survival. Like your days blend together, the weekends go fast, not long enough. And it's just what do you look for in what it is that you have that gives you hope? And a lot of people are coming to me and it's like, man, I just keep doing the same thing and I'm not getting anywhere. And I keep positioning the same hustles and it's not getting me anywhere. And so many people, whether they're guys or girls, they just want to be in a position to just live. And the opportunity I see that so many people that actually have left, they're starting to live in a way where I feel like America only gives you a couple of days to do this kind of living of the year, like a couple. And they're not even like all honestly usually back to back. They are very isolated. And when you do get the feeling, by the time you start to really enjoy it, it's I got to go back. I got to go do something that is going to continue to allow me this opportunity. So these things are going to consistently weigh if you guys don't do anything different. And the opportunity to move abroad is 100% a different scenario. It gives you a different ability to, sorry about that, guys. I'm just taking a, make sure I'm not missing anybody's comment. Gives you a different ability to kind of look at what you're dealing with the United States and say, I'm hearing and I'm seeing that this is not a normal scenario when you position it across the board. You guys have so many things once I tell you, and it's not just, oh, because the president isn't the person that you want, that should and are probably already on your radar. People are in this scenario where they're working more yet affording less. Rent keeps going up. The cost of just your basic goods keep going up. Groceries and healthcare. I know that healthcare was a big topic last week and what that's going to look like. You can't afford to get sick and you can't go to work if you're sick. So how do you afford to get better if you can't afford to get sick? These things are all like a vicious cycle of what do I do? What do I do? And then now, never mind people's words on the internet getting them positioned to not have jobs. People are in a scenario where it's like there's no jobs. So I get so many people jumping in my messages and my DMs asking, well, what jobs can I do abroad, or what jobs can I get? And I tell people, and it's not oftentimes that you're positioned with this, but I feel like some people know, like when I say side hustle, I don't mean like DoorDash or anything. I mean like doing, like being a beautician, a barber, crafts, you being a travel agent, like curating trips, event planning, these things. I mean, there's so many different ones you can get nuanced to, but I would tell people you'd be surprised. Now, don't get me wrong, because you can definitely go get a remote job, and I tell you guys the remote job scenario is starting to shrink up. If you don't have your hands on one, it may be a little bit more difficult now to go get one. But when it comes to trades and doing things, and I don't mean trades as in like welding and those kind of things. I say that is because a lot of things at this age are starting to trend towards needing to be digital. I think one of the keys to moving abroad, especially if you're in the working class, is being able to make money digitally. That is something that you can start working on while you are still in the United States. You know why? Because you are going to need it when you leave. The freedom, the safety, the things that you're looking for, the quality of better life that you're looking for. The biggest thing that most people can't unlock is how do I make money? That's why they're asking. Well, I've got an HVAC degree. Well, I can do welding. I'm a plumber, and it's like these jobs don't pay what they pay in the United States. Also, even if you can go and get a professional degree because you have professional license or professional degree visa to get a professional degree, you can actually be in a scenario where you're not allowed to do that kind of job because it's protected. So I tell people if you're serious and you don't have retirement income, pension money, you are really need to lock, you're gonna really gonna need to lock in with making money online. Whatever way. If it's, a trade, I tell people, I can help you become a travel agent if you want, helping booking your own trips, booking other people's trips. This is a way to make money. I see so many people living abroad now. They're doing certain things. They may are good in crafts and they might do specific craft classes for people. That's I know Michelle does a lot of that for the people abroad, and she's like the local lock lady. So that handles that. You have other people that are curating events, whether it's for expat or locals, or blending the two together, curating the vibe wherever they go. Like I've met so many of those kind of people that can pick up a mic and make a room do something that is exciting and elaborate. That might not be your hat. I was talking to Bianca and she was like, well, teaching people how to make their own digital product. You'd be surprised about what you may say, oh, well, I don't think that's a job. And it's like, well, nobody knows really how to do that. And if you were to position it in a way to teach people how to do that, now you have a digital product that you can make money while you're asleep. I know so many people. Q, we had her on. She literally not only helps other social media creators get brand deals, but she has a how to find brand deals ebook, and she's able to sell that a day. You'd be surprised what adds up, not only abroad, but one step at a time. I can't guarantee you a remote job that has what you think is the money that you need. So you've got to also realize that getting into this, I want to move abroad, is I do want the freedom of what it looks like. And I do want to feel like the things that I'm dealing with in the United States, as far as a safety factor and food and healthcare factor, aren't things that are on my menu. And yes, I do want a better life. And these things may be opportune time to see what the United, excuse me, see what the world has to offer. But there are people that are coming back that maybe they did everything that they've seen on one of these platforms, my platform, somebody else's platform, that actually gives them the tools that they need, and then they turn around and don't have a job. They just had $5,000 and thinking that $5,000 is going to sustain them. I saw the craziest video the other day. It was a guy and a girl. They went somewhere. I think it was like Thailand or something. And they were like, "Yeah, we spent $56,000 in like 3, 4 months." And I'm like, "What did you, what like the life you were living in Thailand where you spent $56,000?" Maybe it was clickbait. I watched it a little bit, but I'm like, maybe that's completely like outrageous. But you would be surprised because so many people get sold that everything is cheaper. Oh, so I could just go out and eat steak and lobster every day, and just, everything is cheaper. And I've seen so many, not even like the ones that are having a bad time, but like my homies that have been there for a while. And it's like, man, when I first got here, I was like, yeah, everything's cheaper. And then I was just going out every day and purchasing. It's like that $5,000 that you have saved up to move abroad, it will go fast. And even if you're on a budget, it will go fast. So make sure you have your money together, please. That is one of the biggest things right now, because I know a lot of people are looking to leave, but I know a lot of people don't know how they're going to make money. And no, I don't have the recipe for you. Maybe some of the things I've said tonight can help with someone, but maybe it's not the recipe for you. You might have to ask yourself, well, what skills do I have? Well, I've always been good at this, or I've always been good at that. What can I market that I actually know about, that I can turn around and talk to people about? Or what it is that I can do is provide a service to a community of people that may be living somewhere. But you've got to do your research and what that looks like. And I see so many people even coming to Medellin, and it's just like, you got here like last week and you're like hitting the ground running. You've got like a rollout plan for, everything. You had like and it's dope. It's dope to see. Like, it's super cool to see that people are like, I'm not going back there. So whatever I've got to do to build community, it's important. And I think some people will look at it like, could be seen as like, you just said you got here last week. You have an entire, but other people could see it. It's like, you know what? I think Royal said that, like, you got to shoot. And she didn't say that, coin it, but she said this the other day, like, you have to shoot the shot, because if not, it won't go in. And I'm like, you know what? I dig that. And you guys have to realize that that may be your path. If you want to stay in the United States and continuously run in that circle, that's what your path is going to be. However, you might need to diversify. I tell people, getting back to the roots and the basics of who you are might be able to unlock some things that you didn't know what your passion was, now that you need to figure it out, versus, oh, well, if I don't ever find out my passion, I'm just going to stay in the United States and still keep working at X job, and that's going to get me wherever it is. Somebody says the pressure of debt and student loans in the United States is outrageous. Yeah, that is one thing. So we've got some things coming out for in November. We've got another live virtual relocation conference. It's going to be covering a lot of cool things. One, location. So we'll have Medellin, Cartagena. We'll have Santa Marta, Colombia. We will have Panama. We'll have Panama. We'll have Mexico, and we will have South Africa on. But some of the other things to speak about, the like the debt and the student loan thing, um, Yeah, so we tell people, a lot of people that are looking to move abroad, you may be spending, I don't know, I'm just giving you guys a number. I have no idea what's in your pockets, but $5,000 a month for your bills. Well, if you could take that down to $2,000 a month, what could you do? Now, I'm not talking about what how much you pay for your student loans. I'm just saying like your rent, your car, your insurance, groceries, and you take that down to 2,000. That takes $3,000 off of what you're just spending just to live. So these things, I tell people, you might be in an opportunity where you might not be able to stay in the United States because you can't afford to. That is a reality that some people are looking into. That's the conversations that people are having with me. I might not be even to stay in my neighborhood. I might have to downsize my house because things keep going up and I'm not getting any more money. So people are starting to look at, not only how to pay off student loans by moving abroad, which we'll have a specialist on for that. But even if you're not in a student loan and strap scenario, or maybe you are and you still want to build something to be able to retire so that when you do get old and don't want to work, you actually have something. Well, how do you go about building wealth? You've got, let's call it, let's say you got $2,500 to $3,000 extra. Well, let's put 80, 70% of that to student loans. Let's put the rest of it towards, your retirement. Well, that's money that you weren't able to save, that now you're able to save. Or carve that up whatever way is going to make sense for you, but you have the ability to pay off your student loans, build wealth for your family and things of that nature, and probably start living a better life because, you get out abroad, things don't cost as much, good food, quality food, even travel. I posted something the other day, and I was like, "Yeah, from Colombia, I get to Panama for like $200 round trip, Ecuador, Peru." These things are things that cost the same amount for you to go from Atlanta to New York. I'm going to different countries, eating different foods, cultures. These things are important to realize that debts and student loans are definitely not going to change. They're not going to give that up. But if you're able to take the amount of money that you're able to make and lower your expenses, you would actually be able to tackle those things, and instead of them trying to garnish your wages. So please make certain that you are like looking at this move abroad process as a full spectrum thing. A full spectrum thing, because you can't look at it as just I'm running from America. To what? That's how you're going to end up in the place you're not supposed to be. Freedom is such a big thing for people because I think now a lot more people are realizing that the stability is the end goal of American dream, and that's wrapped up in freedom. The freedom to do what it is that you want to do, and not anything destructive by any means. Most of the time, when people are going and spending this time away from family and loved ones, it's strictly because they want to be able to spend time with family and loved ones. When they buy them things or give them things or do things for them that makes them feel appreciated, they're like, well, I need to go to work to be able to afford these things. Well, I can't have my family without a house and home, so I need to spend time and days away from them. Even the freedom to enjoy each other. People, if you work from home, you probably see this more than people that don't work from home. They go to an office. But people that work from home that have kids, they realize that their kids are just gone for 8 hours. Like, yes, it does align with the school schedule, I mean the work schedule for an adult that is going from, 9 to 5. I can drop my kid off at 7:15, still get to work by 9 o'clock. Yeah, yeah, we get that. But even the 5 o'clock schedule, it's like, well, you gotta go to aftercare, and by the time I get to aftercare, that's 6:30. It's like we are used to in the United States having children out of the house from their families for a very long time. And most people say, well, they need to learn. And I'm like, well. We should look at some numbers in America and be like, the American education system isn't really turning out the highest probability of scholars. So I wouldn't say that 8 to 12 hours a day away from your kid is things that are on your highest radar when you think about them. I mean, they're your kids. You had them. You raised them to be who they are, and you're raising them. And it's just like the freedom to even enjoy the family that you created. Like, I think that's where a lot of people are like, I'm working all of the time. I'm buying my kids stuff, but they're not. Stuff is stuff. That's why more people now are starting to trade in Thanksgiving holidays and Christmas holidays to go places. More people are traveling now because they're realizing that maybe I can't move abroad, but I'm not buying a bunch of stuff. I need to go see some of these things, share these things with my family in the world, so that we can see better than just buying stuff and staying in the same neighborhood. People are starting to start to glimpse at this life abroad, this vacationing in non places that is America, give me a feeling that I can't find in America. So when you ask yourself, why are so many people moving abroad? Because that little glimpse of tasting what America gives you, and then tasting what the vacation life gives you, what these things that you see on these social media platforms, what these things that you see on people living their lives in other countries, families, the kids learning new languages. It's like that looks a lot more appealing. That looks a lot more like living than what you may be experiencing. So it's just, how do you get there? You've got to be where I told you. You've got to be at a position to be ready to do the work that it's going to take. Understanding what it is that you need to go. It's not about traveling, it's actually a form of healing and self care. What I say, it's not just about traveling, but the traveling is actually healing and self care that you need. You'd be surprised what you get involved with, things that you haven't done or in a while or never were on your radar, that you have the opportunity to do when you get abroad. Things that are in the United States, like, oh, you want to go to the bar? Yeah. Oh, you want to go to this? Yeah. People in like Colombia are like, hey, you want to go paragliding, or you want to go like ATVing, or you want to go to like this organic farm and they've got like, there's like a beer tour, there's, do you want to go to river rafting? These things didn't come across my desk when I was back at home, especially in South Florida. It's not that much to do when you like, unless you want to go to the swamps. But outside of that, it's just party, party, and beach. That's it. So when you come abroad and you realize that like these things, I did some healing and some self care that I really wouldn't have subscribed myself for. And I realized that when I did it, I needed to test myself like that. I needed to challenge myself like that. I didn't think that I was, if you told me that I was capable to do that, I would have told you that that wasn't true. Yet here I am on the other side of doing it and not hurting myself, that I'm telling you that I needed to see that from myself. So many people need to understand that this move abroad is not just about, oh, I'm gonna be traveling and showing everybody where I'm at. And no, 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 no. That's just a byproduct of what happens. But what happens for you is a reset. It's a reset to where everybody that even messes up and ends up going back to the United States, and they're like, nobody that has lived abroad, I, unless you, I just don't see a high probability, and these are what I've my research. I just haven't seen a lot of people that have like left abroad and went back to the United States. Realistically, like happy. They're like, I'm ready to go. This is absolutely outrageous. This was outrageous before I left, but now knowing what I know, knowing that I don't have to live this life, this is absolutely outrageous. And you might have messed up and went out there and didn't have any money, or went somewhere and got into some trouble because you were doing some stuff. And then you went back to the home thinking that everything was perfectly fine and this is where I need to go. And you get back and you're like, man, maybe I don't know go to that place, but I need to get the hell out of here. So it's not just the travel portion, it's the feeling and the healing and the care that you realize that you're able to like look into yourself and find some things out about yourself. I done found out some things in the last 3 years that I did not know about myself. I knew very little tidbits of some of these things, but they've gotten unraveled into bigger ways that wasn't on my radar when I was living in the United States. Me sitting in front of you, I always cared about my folks and, wanted to help. And at the time I was back in the United States, my way to help was taking you on a trip. Still do that. My way to help was helping with your business, telecommunications. I got you. You need help? Small black business? I'm your man. But now it has evolved to all of those things, but the opportunity to help people that were in the exact same scenario as me, people that look just like me and were like, well, where do I start? How do I go about even finding these communities that live? Never mind a TikTok. How many DMs you could send to somebody and they're gonna ask you answer any questions or say, hey, here's a bunch of information that is already like given and not these little 1 minute viral videos. I'm talking about real information. You guys need to know more than what hot restaurants are available. It doesn't help you when you're looking to move abroad. You're asking yourself real questions. Do I get a visa? What neighborhood should I live in? How do I go about figuring that out? These things are realistic that you guys are now in the position to go about asking yourself. But hopefully, this platform is doing its best to tell you because at a time when I was in the United States, it wasn't on my radar to have these conversations. How can I tell you about leaving the United States and I hadn't left? Never mind, I was the guy that had the Mercedes Benz and the stuff, the clothes and all of that stuff. So I was still stuck on stupid when it came to what my real value was in America when I looked at what I can offer to the world. I was worried about what car I presented when I showed up at a meeting versus what was I looking to give? Was it just these things or was it something deeper, which led me here? And I don't know where your move abroad journey will lead you. Maybe it leads you to helping others in other places. Maybe it leads you to helping others back at home. Maybe it leads you just to finding yourself. I have no idea where the journey is going to lead you. I just know that the journey is important enough for you to start asking yourself these questions, for you to start considering some of these things, because if you don't, you are going to have a bad time. It's almost a guarantee. I'm starting to see these things. Somebody said something about a job application. That's funny. Just seen this topic, bro, and I'm curious if Americans love going or living abroad. Why have so many foreigners in the past try to leave? Oh, sorry about that, Brad, but I will tell you about that. I will say so the question is, why are so many foreigners in the past? I'm assuming that he didn't finish it all this way, but uh, or just now, not even just in the back in the day. Why are so many people from foreign countries looking to go to America? I covered this, but we will definitely cover it because it addresses this conversation. So many people in America don't realize what their weapons are because you can't. They're dull blades in the United States. Having an American job is a dull blade in the United States. It only gets you so far. So what are you going to do? Having a blue passport. What are you going to do with a blue passport walking around in America? These things are beneficial to you, yet they aren't beneficial in the United States to you, if that makes any sense. Whereas if a person that is looking from another country looking to come to America, the reason they're looking to come to America might not be actually just to taste a blue passport. Maybe they're trying to become a citizen or something of that nature. But it's access to the American dollar. That is most of the time why. Now, don't get me wrong, because there's other reasons. People are actually looking to seek political refuge. There's some countries out here that are absolutely outrageous, so you have to consider that too. But I think what this Brad was hinting at was, why are people looking to come in America if being in America is so great or not so great, and we should actually leave? I'm like, well, they don't have access to the United States dollar by any means. I tell people in the United States that if you do, that's why I tell you not to look for a foreign job that's paying you in local currency, because if you're used to making USD, even if you make $30,000, that equivalent of your job, if you were if you make 30,000 in the United States, that person doesn't even make any type of dollars close to that probably in the local wage. Like I know in Colombia, if you were to go from a $30,000 job, the equivalent of that in Colombia is not going to make any kind of close. 50,000 if you're a high paid lawyer in the United States, or even something that you might not consider high paid. Oh, I make 120,000 a year. Well, in the exact same job, you may be making $30,000 a year. Exact same job. These things are relative. So that is why when I talk to Americans, and I can only speak to Americans because they have the weapons that they don't know that they have. That's what I'm saying. You know, they tell you if you want to go online and make money, whether it's your audience or your actual work, you need to either have USD or Euro. So you need to talk to the Euro market or talk to Americans. They have the most money to spend. We don't realize it in America because things are so tight and things cost so much. But that is why people are going all the way from where they're going, willing to walk into the United States and fight whatever they have to fight in just to get access to the American dollar. But what also happens is they don't realize how much things cost in America. I've had people that have actually left Colombia, went to United States, calling me, telling me that their rent is 200. They're short $200 for their rent. That is $1,500. At the same time, I now live in the country they left, and it's just like I'm not saying like you've got to realize that it doesn't. It might not work for you in the United States. So when people get over there and they're like, "Well, I didn't realize everything was going to cost this much." Well, now you're there. That's why you see some of the community efforts that go on where people are becoming collectives. They're living in everybody's in one house and they're stacking their money together. How many Americans do you know are willing to do these things to get out of the places that they are? These things can even happen without looking to move abroad. But let's say you have 3 to 5 brothers and sisters. Would you all come together in one big house, big enough for all of you guys to pool your money together? Everybody would have a bed. All the family would have a room. But would you do that? These things aren't common in the United States. So when we get these questions of, well, why would somebody want to come to the United States and foreigners are looking and you're telling us to leave or wanting to leave? Well, Americans don't know their weapons, so they don't know that the U.S. dollar abroad is more powerful abroad than it is in the United States, and that passport gets you 180 plus visa-free access to different countries, depending on where you want to go. A lot of the top places: Colombia, Mexico, Panama, South Africa, um, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic. This on this side of the world. These are all things that U.S. passport does good at. Even Brazil, you may need to do a little paperwork, a e-visa, but these are all things, and your dollar, when you get there, goes just a little further. Or that dollar made at the rate, things don't cost as much. Even take a place like Panama, where a dollar is 1 to 1, but you could get a oceanfront property for anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500. You probably won't be able to walk to a beach in South Beach or any beach in the United States for $1,000 to $1,500 for like 2 bedrooms. So your dollar, you can see it go a little further. So that is why um, I would say people are looking to get into the United States to get access to those things, as well as the other political and suffering reasons. But I think his question was really designed based down to like, if it's so good, then why are we telling people to leave? Well, take those 2 weapons that you don't know that you have, sharpen them up, and get out if you are looking for that, Brad. That is that's my recommendation to you. What I tell you, because we did talk about those numbers, man. Cost of living comparisons. You can spend exactly how much you spend in the United States anywhere in the world if you want to. Now, what you spend, hey, what's going on? What you spend, that is going to probably get you a lot more amenities, stuff and things. So if you spend $2,000 on a house, mortgage, rent, whatever the case is, that $2,000 will probably get you a better looking place in a lot of places that you go. But I tell people that you can. The question is, what do you want? Because if you're like, oh, I want a 24-hour security, I want a pool, I want a gym, I want the place to be big. It's got to have floor to window ceiling windows. It's got to have a pickleball court, squash court, basketball court, movie theater, all on site. I mean, you're describing the Taj Mahal, buddy. Like it's gonna cost you. You know, it's still gonna cost you less. I saw something on the highest end that I've seen. It was an apartment that was $5,000 a month in Medellin. And I was like, I need to see something because I need to see because I know people that live in $5,000 a month apartments. I said I need to see what $5,000 a month gets you here. And that place was at least a $10,000 a month place. I mean, everything was like voice activated, Alexa, Siri. The view was the most amazing view I have ever seen. You could see it from all around. They had an office that had its own crazy view, floor to ceiling. The balcony with the beautiful view. You walk out, it had a plunge pool, it had a jacuzzi out there, had a barbecue grill. I think it was a two-bedroom spot. All the amenities were just high end. And I'm like, this looks like money. And it would definitely cost you 10 grand in the States. It's 5 grand. I'm not paying that. But, you know, these things are going to be relative. Now, if you are looking to live like a modest lifestyle, and I don't mean like, oh, I got to live in the slums and barely go out. I mean, like, no, like modest. Like, you can still go out. If you're a single person, you go out every day in Colombia, unless you're going to like the highest end restaurants. The menu del dia is like 20,000 pesos, so that could be like $4 to $5, maybe a little bit more than five, definitely under 550, a day. That's lunch. Dinners could be 30 to 40,000, maybe 50, depending on what you're getting. So eating at a restaurant that sit down, that could be $8 to $10. I remember I used to go to Sala Pimienta and get a whole fish salad and patagones for like, I think it was like $9. And then I used to pick out there and get the barbecue chicken skewer and like another salad and some fries for like another like $7. So you could realistically your food budget is going to go way down. Your housing budget, the one thing I will tell you is we're used to paying rent and then paying utilities and then also renting a place that has no furnishings. I haven't rented a place that has no furnishings. Yes, it will be cheaper, but the first place I rented was a 3 bedroom that was fully furnished and had an elevator. It was like $900 a month, and I had a really nice view, and it was in a nice neighborhood where I could walk around and stuff. So it was like, could I have spent more? Yes. Could I have spent less? Yes. But even that number should ring bells in some people's ears that may be considering this because it's like, where can you find a 3 bedroom in the United States for $900 where you don't have to bring all of the furnishings and all of the utilities are included? Probably nowhere. And if you did find it, what does it look like? Beautiful place that I was in. So, your cost of living, your food costs are going to go down, your healthcare costs are going to go down. Um, International healthcare insurance a month is like $60. You can get a doctor in your house for like $40, and you don't even have to use the insurance. I guess if you use the insurance, you could file a claim, but it's like $40, and a doctor will come to your house, spend time with you, write you a prescription in your house that you don't have to leave to get filled. Um, Schooling goes down for my people that have families and kids. Private schools are like $300 to $500 a month. Maybe if you have more kids, that could even be discounted down to way less than what we're seeing just for one kid. I know people that have kids in Colombia that are putting them in karate and horseback riding for 200 to $300 a month, and these are twice a week classes total for two kids. For two kids, things will depend on where you go, but I will tell you that even in places that are like Eurocentric, these things aren't don't cost as much, especially when you're making USD and euro. You'll be surprised how overly priced things are in the United States versus even in places that have euro. It's not as bad. It's bad, but it's not as bad. So these things are important. Somebody asked, remote working and digital nomad visas is that way to go? Yes, it is the way to go. The remote working, yes. The digital nomad visa, only get the nomad visa once you know where you're going to go. Do not go spending your time, energy, and effort trying to understand. Think that you need a nomad visa. As long as you have that weapon that I told you about, that blue passport, you're going to get 180 days in a calendar year. If you wanted to go stay 180 days, the only thing you would have to do, and that is 180 days straight in one particular country. All you would have to do is file an extension. Your passport stamp they give you when you come in, it gives you 90 days. If you wanted to stay past those 90 days for a full 180, that is, you would need to file an extension. But that is allows you to do that. I know people that use their passport and passport only. Hey, I'm going to spend 6 months here, then I'm going to spend 6 months here because I don't want them all in my business. I don't need to. You'd be surprised which the nomad visa. And that's why I say don't get it until you for certain. Is because when it gets into the visas, you guys hear only what you want to hear. Everybody hears that the nomad visa you can get that for 2 years, and yes, you can get it for 2 years, but it is up to 2 years. So that doesn't mean you are guaranteed to get 2 years on your first try. So let's take this into consideration. You didn't listen to anything I said and you decided to leave from the United States, apply for the nomad visa in the United States, and then come to your country that you're thinking with your nomad visa on day one. So you have just took your 180 days and said, man, now, mind you, you didn't aren't guaranteed to get a full 2 years. So if they only get you 6 months, which I have seen, if you only get 6 months, yes, you could stay for the whole year, but you have literally put a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of effort into getting the visa, and it really only granted you another 6 months. It didn't grant you the full 2 years or even a year or even a year and a half. It only gave you another 6 months. And you haven't even figured out if you like the place. You had done took the destination out, done bought it a car, let it drive away without you even seeing it and said, I'll be right back. It came back. But it's just like, for what? So I tell people, yes, remote work is going to be a key, but remote work and digital nomad visas, those aren't like peanut butter and jelly. They're not like Bert and Ernie. You don't need one without the other. You need remote work. You don't need a digital nomad visa initially. You do need remote work though. Make certain that you are aware that I did not say you don't need remote work. You need to have money coming in, USD or euro. Make sure you guys are paying attention to that because I'm seeing this question way too often, and I'm like, you need to get back to your skills. If you haven't touched a computer in a while, you need to brushing up your Microsoft Office and Microsoft these skills because even data entry requires you to be able to be proficient in Excel. What do you call that? Word. These things are important. You need to get out. If that is what your dev process is, you need to make sure you are making money online and then not rushing to go get that visa because that is the key to starting your journey with money that you don't have to spend. Somebody asked why raising kids abroad could be safer. Is raising kids abroad safer? Um, It depends on what is annoying you about your kids or just you in the United States. If you are a person that doesn't feel like mass incidents are that big of a deal, if you don't feel like sending loved ones to grocery stores or even just to school, we talk about the kids, are that big of a deal and they could not come home because somebody was upset, then I would say the United States is just as safe as you want it to be. However, I would tell you that bad things do happen all over the world. However, what America has normalized in the United States is not normalized everywhere else. So many people, especially parents and families that are looking to move abroad, are realizing that, hey, bro, I don't. My kid doesn't need to be in school for 10 hours. And also, my kid doesn't need to be going through mass incident drills just to be able to make it because somebody might come in here. Like, what is going on where this has become normalized and our kids are growing up doing these things as part of their daily routine? So, from a safety perspective, I don't see those things happening often in abroad in many countries that the destination of expats are extremely the expats are looking to go to as far as destinations. Healthier, um, I personally think 100%. And I say that is because family or no family, you have to eat. And the food quality in America has gotten absolutely outrageous. You just go and type in fake food on any place that you're watching this. You're going to see like fruits, chicken, McDonald's, whatever. It's just so many different fake foods where a lot of the foods that you go and say like, well, I only shop at Whole Foods and we only get organic fruits and vegetables. Well, sweetheart, those fruits and vegetables, you'd be surprised where some of those are coming from. Some of those coming from the places that are the top expat destinations. I thought it was hilarious when I went to United States and went in Whole Foods and saw that the strawberries and the cantaloupes, they were like from Colombia. And I was like, I just can go back home. Why is this so damn expensive? Why would I pay this much just to have what I can get for way less? But you guys are paying a lot, and then they may have whatever America's done to it once it got imported. So from a healthier perspective, I think from a food quality, that is definitely going to be plus. Both people that have no kids as well as people that are concerned with what their kids eating. Healthier and also in a scenario where your kids are going to be forced to go outside more. Because yes, people have PlayStations and tablets and all of that stuff. But people are more inclined to go outside and play with each other. Like, in a place like Medellin, it's the land of eternal spring. Depends on where you live. I'm from Philadelphia. Majority of the year it's too damn cold to be outside doing all of that. Never mind, the kids in Philadelphia, most cities in America aren't going outside much. They're not growing up in like playing with each other outside. I did see somebody online say, in her neighborhood, her kids go outside and play, but they got their phones on them, but they play. And I said that's still good. I don't see too many that going on too often, but it's good to hear. Kids outside of the United States are playing more. They're doing more. Being a part of more. I see people just hanging out at the park, like like they just used to hang out at the park, like have a picnic or like bring some lunch. This is what people are doing. Like we don't even get to do that as adults. Never mind the children doing. And an affordable lifestyle gives your child access to more things. Because if you're able to spend more time with your child, they're not just in school because you have to be at work all day. Never mind. Okay, well, I'm not spending all my money just to afford us a house, and now I can get them tutoring in, I don't know, maybe they want to play an instrument, maybe they want to pick up a sport, maybe they want to do horseback riding, or maybe they find a hobby that this is not even readily available, and if I wanted to take them it just costs too much. But now it's available to them and they can grow up and have culture, learning a new language and learning a certain kind of appreciation for life that America is probably not going to offer them, considering what we keep saying over and over and over again. These things are definitely going to be important as you put it onto your thought process of why am I moving abroad? What am I looking for? Is the freedom that I crave? Is it exist? Is it waiting for me and my family? Is it waiting for me? I would tell you yes, but I would tell you yes because the freedom that I was craving, the things that I believed exist, I was very intentional about finding them and creating spaces where I was open enough to actually receive them. I think you guys need to make certain that you just heard that because if I wasn't creating the spaces and often being open enough to receive them, then I would have never gotten them. I would have been in a position where even though my body had physically left the United States, my mind, my spirit, and my soul, it was still wrapped up in what America had to offer for me, even though it was the one that told me, maybe it's time to look somewhere else. Maybe you guys are starting to realize that it's no longer just what you're seeing on TV. Go to sleep every day and you might wake up with certain things on your mind, or starting to visualize certain things that you see in a way where you're now the person that is traveling the world, seeing the things that you see on TikTok and YouTube and social media. Maybe it's your family that is beginning their life abroad, and your kids are speaking a new language and they're helping you even learn a new language. These things are often forgotten, that we crave these opportunities, the opportunities to build with each other, the opportunities to learn with each other. We don't have that much time in the United States to actually go about achieving those things, one solely or together. So, what I'm telling you is, maybe once you actually identify and intentionalize what it is that you are actually looking for with this move abroad, these things that you're seeing online that other people are doing actually start to feel a little bit different. They'll start to feel real. These conversations that you and I are having, they're going to start to hit a little bit deeper, because now you understand the intention and what you had to do to get to the point where you're like, I now know that I can't be this person once I get here. But the person that I'm going to be, that person will be free. That person will be safe. That person will be happy. That person will be thriving and living in a way that the old me wasn't able to actually even really understand just how big of a deal me becoming the new me is. So tonight, I hope you guys heard something that will get you guys over whatever it is that you dealt with today and get you through to the next day. That way, you can start and continue to visualize your plan. Whatever your plan is, you make sure that you are intent about it. Make certain that you are going to stick through with it. I tell you guys to write down your whys. It is one of the biggest things that I can give to you that help me and help so many other people leave, but actually stay going, and not stay going, but thrive while being gone in a place where so many people have had to return home. If you are looking to be one of those people, ran out of internet on somebody's place. Um, then definitely tune in. You guys can go to YouTube, Black Expat Life Abroad. That is where you're going to see all these conversations. If you're on Roots and Routes podcast, shout out to you guys as well. That is where we'll bring in the team. We have plenty of conversations with our Roots and Routes team, but I need you guys to go to Black Expat Life Abroad right now. Make sure you are sharing that. Make sure you are also going and let me know what you guys want to hear from. Let me know if you need somebody to bring some experts on. You want to cover some specific topics, just want to chat. We can get these things taken care of. Please also go to moodtravelcolumbia.com. That is two O's in mood, two O's in Columbia. There, you are going to find a bunch of free relocation resources. You'll be able to get in contact with our experts. You will also be able to get in contact, not get in contact, but download our free our webinars. We have over 6.5 hours worth of relocation content that you can get access to. Never mind what is on the YouTube. This is specifically if you're looking to move to Colombia. As always, I told you, make sure that you are also keeping your eyeballs glued, because Mood Travel Abroad is coming. We have our website that will be releasing soon. We've got all brand new locations, as well as the ones that you are here for, which is, I know, Colombia for a number of people. But we're doing our best to make this a one-stop shop for everybody that needs it. I know how much time and energy it takes to research these places, find vetted resources and ways that will make this move abroad a lot easier. It's not just me. We have an entire team dedicated to helping you, whether it's Colombia, Mexico, Panama, South Africa, and so much more. So, thank you always for tuning in. Make certain that you guys are sharing and following, because it does help the algorithm push these conversations to the people that need to hear it. I will see you guys tomorrow a las seis. You guys be careful. In the United States, it is definitely getting interesting. I always appreciate you. Oh, hold on, wait a minute. Before I go, I just want to make sure and I didn't miss anybody's convo. The worst thing about being American native is being stuck in what's supposed to be their country and screwed by the catch-22, the land of opportunity for those who were above Barack and kind of, yeah, it is. The U.S. is a very interesting place, my friend. It is highly it's highly disappointing to see what we as Americans have been given as what this is supposed to be normalized as. And I think a lot more people are starting to be at their wits' end with what is being championed in the United States, who is being championed in the United States. And it seems like people are playing in our face, to be honest with you. I mean, just to call it casual, people are playing in your face, it seems like every day, and telling you that what you see is not real, and that you should have thoughts and prayers for things that your thoughts, neither your prayers, need to be guided towards. So I'm starting to see more and more people go and type in move abroad, go and type in what does life look like outside of the United States, because life inside of it, whew, Godspeed and good luck. But if you are here and looking to move abroad, I got you. And if you are not, what I tell you is make certain that you are doing something intentful that will impact you and your family in a positive way. There are things that you can escape by moving, but you are going to run into it again if you aren't facing your fear in the place that you are. So make certain that you are understanding, leave abroad or not, what you're going through. That way you can try to figure out what's the best course of action, because not doing anything at this point seems like a failure plan, and I don't want anybody to fail. Everything I feel like things in the United States are kind of set up where it's no longer about just working hard or anything. It's just you just gonna have to take whatever it is that we have for you and deal with it. And I know a lot of people are definitely at the end of that. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thanks. Looks like the name is Presidente for commenting. I'll talk to you guys soon. And tomorrow, y'all be back at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Till then, see you guys later.